All right, welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. And a special warm welcome to all of you who are tuning in to our amazing, awesome podcast, the iHypnosis Life Coaching Journeys. This is, of course, a podcast that has been curated specially and specifically for you, healers and coaches out there who are on the journey. And we make it a point to bring some truly amazing people who are already in their own right, not just healers and coaches, but they're already on the journey. And the intention, of course, is that as you listen to their stories, that you are inspired and also that you're reminded that, we are on a journey. And regardless of where you may be at this point, maybe you're flying, maybe you're stuck, but either ways, their stories will inspire you and remind you of why you yourself are on this journey. With that, of course, let's put our hands together and invite in Dr. Vishakha. So, Vishakha, welcome. You welcome to go ahead and turn on your camera, and good to have you here.
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you for having me here. It's a complete
Awesome,
privilege and honor to share the space with you today. Thank you very much.
awesome. Thank you so much for that, and I'm really looking forward to, to hearing your story and what made all of this come together. So maybe we'll start at the top and tell us a little bit about, it's like when someone asks the question, so whether it's in a formal setting or an informal setting, and they say, so Vishaka, what do you do? Or Dr. Vishaka, what do you do?
Okay. So, I'm an abundance and manifestation coach,
Mm,
and I am on this mission of helping midlife seekers manifest abundance. And when I say abundance, it is in terms of money, space, love, and time through
mm,
my inner world awareness, the IWA approach. I also teach at a college, I teach English.
mm. Wow.
And it complements my coaching thing beautifully, and coaching complements my teaching at a college
Hmm.
beautifully, because again the essence of literature is that self reflection and self connect, isn't it?
Right. Wow.
And I'm
Wow.
also very, very passionate about writing. Especially, I
Mm,
love to write poems. My
mm,
debut book, The Faint Call of the Soul, it's
mm.
already out there in the market.
Wow.
And I have recently finished my manuscript of the second book, which is Beyond What Appears, Life, a Journey Within. So it should
Wow.
see the light of publishing soon.
Amazing. Wow. I love
And
that. That's such a, such a, um, it's like so much of life in what you just said. And there's so much to unpack here. But we'll keep that for the moment as we just kind of spend a moment to, go back in time and share with us because, I was, in fact, today, now we've officially crossed the 80 mark. So we are
yes,
now doing the
you're
81st
doing
pod.
amazing work. I saw that too. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for that. And you know, this is a question that always makes me smile because when people respond to the question, there's a lot of life, there's a lot of passion in describing who you are and what you do. But again, this pod exists to also unpack how all of this came together, because I'm sure the way you described it now, it didn't happen overnight. It's been a gradual build up, build up on a build up on a build up.
Absolutely, yeah.
So so maybe if you could take us back in time and help us kind of see how all of this started to come together. So you could go as far back as you choose, as far back as you wish to give us a insight into like so many years ago did you, it's like saying so many years ago you may or may not have known you'd end up here, but traveling together with you, we will definitely be able to get to know you better as well.
Okay. So thank you for this question. And yeah, a lot has happened, and you're very right in saying that things, of course, haven't been the way it appears today. So the journey has been long, but then, yes, it has been very, very rewarding for me.
Mm,
So let me start with the kind of girl I was
mm,
on the outer side. I
mm,
appeared to be a confident girl,
mm,
but I knew that within I was not very confident. But the world, I felt, did
mm,
not know this, right?
mm,
And I was always inclined towards spirituality. And
mm,
as a young girl, young teen also, I tried out different modalities like art of living.
mm.
I explored the knowledge of Brahma Kumaris.
Wow.
I read Osho a lot in my early days. But after I got married, and when the reality of life hit,
Mm,
I realized that all this wisdom that I had gathered, it was just at an intellectual level.
mm,
I wasn't able to apply it experientially in my life, and I did not know how to apply it also.
mm,
So the more I try, I really like happiness and peace around, even over
mm,
material things. So the more I try to make things all right and make people happy, the more the messier things became for me, until
mm,
I knew it in my heart that this was not happening and I could not continue like this. So, with this deep and intentional and intense prayer to the universe, I asked the universe to show me a way out, because I knew that I could not carry on like the way I was, carrying on in life. And that was when the universe, gifted me, I can say,
mm,
a spiritual mentor came in my life. And the first thing that he said was something which really hit me. So he said, Vishaka, it's your inner world which is being reflected in your outer world.
mm,
So, okay, I was like, but why in the world, I would create all the challenges that I was facing in life?
mm,
And my logical mind said no to this. Yet, in my heart, I knew that something with him resonated. I knew that what he was saying had an element of truth in it, and I
mm,
wanted to explore. I did not just embrace the truth because somebody else was saying it. I
mm,
wanted to explore. And this is how 1.5 decades back my inner journey actually started.
mm,
And Rahul, when it started, it wasn't easy, because when you first look within, when you open that locked room, no, which you have
mm,
not opened for, God
mm,
knows, how long it has been closed. It's only dust and dirt you meet with in the beginning.
mm,
So it was challenging, because, there were a lot of things which needed to be released. But yes, with the love of the mentors around, with the support of everybody around, and the support of the universe, I was able to delve deeper in this. And bit by bit, I kept shedding things that were no longer meant for me. And even I don't know how life just kept shifting
mm,
and changing. And today, when I look back at that life, it is it is kind of impossible for me to believe that it was my own life which I was leading
mm.
15 years back.
Wow.
So it has been a very, very beautiful journey for me.
Mm. Wow. Amazing. So, I love the opening and the way you've described it. So, at your own pace, like whatever you feel drawn to, if you could sort of reflect on maybe some of the highlights over these 15 years, because 15 years is, I'm sure in some ways it's probably been a lifetime
Hmm.
of transformation, right? Like
Yeah.
those,
Yeah.
like 15 years ago to who sits here, it's literally probably, and in your words, I'm sure you can describe what that change has been. But also for us to be able to draw from it, if you could maybe share some of the milestones, some of those moments that really stand out for you,
Yeah.
from opening the door and seeing the dust and
Yeah. Yeah. So I really want to open my heart out, because I know that, somebody who's listening to
mm,
our conversation might again benefit from this.
correct.
Because if a girl like me could do it, I'm sure that
Mm,
the other person can also do it,
correct.
right?
Correct.
So it was back in 2009, I think. I'm not sure of the year, but it was around that time.
Mm,
I was facing a lot of challenges, and as not literally doing anything, as not
mm,
a happy homemaker.
mm,
So that was when my childhood friend, I have always been very, very fond of writing. So
mm.
she was the one who told me, Vishakha, why don't you start writing again? And she
Wow.
sent me some MIT brochures and all, which
Mm,
she asked me to look into. And I looked into the brochures and I
mm,
knew that it was not possible for
mm,
me yet. It
mm.
made me look into some possibilities which I could do in India.
Right.
And that is how I enrolled for a diploma in creative writing at IGNO,
Wow.
which I was in
Mm,
Delhi earlier, so it wasn't very far from my place
mm,
also. So I used to physically go to that place every Sunday, and I started doing that creative writing thing.
mm,
Now, it was very interesting because the founder of Research Foundation, who was teaching us that course, he was apparently very impressed with my work. And Dr. Sham Singh Sashi, he has been Padma Shri awardee. Twice he has
mm.
been awarded with Padma Shri for his literary work.
Wow.
So he told me, I love your perspectives and your work, and would you teach here on an honorary basis? So I was
Wow.
very happy with that. And he told me, Vishakha, if you want to move ahead in this journey, so I did not, I was just a BSc Home Science graduate. So he
Mm,
told me that, why don't you do masters? Because without masters in English, you cannot move ahead in this journey.
mm,
And I readily accepted, because anyways I had to do study, like, not, I was not going to a regular college, it was all through
mm,
correspondence. So that
mm,
journey of studying again started. And in the meanwhile, I returned back to my parents' place. Marriage was not happening, so I came back to my parents' place. And my parents were very, very supportive. My whole family, my brother, my extended family, everybody was
mm.
very supportive. And my father said that, my parents, they told me that, why don't you go back to your school and start teaching there? Because,
Wow.
I've always been very, very
Mm,
fond of English. And
mm.
I knew that, I could deal with children well. So I became a primary school teacher without a B.Ed.
Wow.
It was a Catholic school, and the nun, our principal there then, she readily accepted me because I was an ex-student and I was always a very good student.
Mm,
So from there, the teaching journey started, and I taught for a few months, maybe,
mm,
it was 12, 13 months, and I was also very drawn into spirituality.
mm,
So part of me wanted to leave all this teaching and studying and get full-fledged into spirituality. So it was my father, Rahul. He told me, I have twins, by the way, they are grown up
mm.
now, they are 21.
Wow.
So my father told me, Vishakha, I understand your pull towards spirituality, but this is not the time. It is your time to act in this world and build your karma, and your goodwill will directly benefit your children. It
Mm,
will help them shape their identity. So
mm,
sometimes, Rahul, what happens is, the words strike you so deep enough that
mm,
I never thought of not studying again after he told this to me. And
mm,
then it was my dad who told me that, why don't you prepare for lecturership? I would love to see you in a college. And once you are there, everything will be sorted. So after 1.5 years of teaching at school, I gave up school and I started preparing for a national eligibility test in English. So I really didn't know, Rahul, how that came to me and what that would do to me.
mm,
I was on that journey because my father wanted it, right? And
mm,
those days, I was also connected with Temple of Inner Wisdom, and we used to, and Master Minod is the founder of Temple of Inner Wisdom,
mm,
and on his behalf, we used to conduct sessions, meditation sessions, in the place where I reside in Orissa. So we used to have these sessions. I had started preparing for NET, and out of the blue, I had no clue who the gentleman was. So he comes up. I had just seen him a couple of times in the meditation sessions,
mm.
and he asked me, "Okay, so what do you do? What are you doing?" So I told him, "Okay, I'm preparing for NET exam, and I think I would also give the B.Ed exam because I want to go deeper in this teaching
Mm,
profession." So he
mm.
told me, there's this SSB exam, and you're very lucky because it is showing up after 10, 15 years. All these years,
Mm.
it hasn't happened. And SSB exam is State Selection Board exam. So he said, if you qualify that exam, you will directly be placed in a college. So give it a
Wow.
shot. You are anyways preparing for NET,
Mm,
and that's a simpler version of NET. So I said, okay, let me give it a try. And my written exam went really, really well. So on the day of my interview, there were people around me who were MPhils and PhDs. and they had not even considered my BSc Home Science honors as a honors course because it was not English honors. So my
Mm,
profile ranking was very low, and I was kind of nervous and anxious because I didn't know. I was not sure if I would fare well and able
mm,
to answer their questions. Acha, in the meanwhile, I had lost my dad also, Rahul. So this
okay.
was a big jolt to me. He had met with an accident. It was not a major accident, but
Mm,
he developed septicemia infection after that. And my father always used to tell me, even when he appeared unconscious, no, whenever
mm,
I asked him, Dad, you want to see me be a lecturer, right? It always used to He always used to nod just out of nowhere. So I knew that I had to do NET, qualify NET, not knowing where it would lead me to. That is
mm,
probably when I started manifesting for the first time without knowing what
mm.
manifesting really means. So coming
Right.
back to this interview, I was nervous, but then, this thought came to me that will you
Mm,
ever be meeting this panel again in your life? Just go give it a try. If you qualify,
mm,
well and good. If you do not qualify, how does it matter? You're anyways doing what you're doing. So went
mm,
in, and I was very confident in the interview, and it went very, very, really well. So when the result came out, I was not chosen. So I was okay with it because there were other qualified people. I thought it's okay. I was not chosen. What happened then is one fine day out of the blue, I see a mail, and for the first time in the SSB history, a second
mm.
list had come out and my name topped it.
Wow.
Imagine.
Wow.
And this is how I was placed in the college where I was placed.
Mm,
And the same happened with NET exam also. So this was my third attempt, okay.
mm,
And the first two attempts, I had failed in one paper. We had to give three papers. In the second paper, it was a difficult paper, so I missed it by a few marks. So this time, when the result came out, paper one said pass, paper two said fail, and my heart
mm,
sank for a moment.
mm.
But when I my eyes went down, it said qualified to be an assistant professor. So
Wow.
I was confused. I didn't know what it meant.
Mm,
And when I found out, so they had changed the rule for the first time, saying that even if you fail in a paper, but if you have a good aggregate score, you are qualified. So I
mm,
thus qualified my NET exam. And
mm.
my life has been full of synchronicities. If I start telling you, it will never end only. So being placed in the college that I was placed,
Mm,
even that happened in a way like you cleared my NET and this SSB
mm,
exam. So mm, I was teaching then at a college, junior college, and in the meanwhile, they say when you are ready, the teacher appears,
mm,
and when you're fully ready, the teacher disappears.
mm.
So
Nice.
I had been with Temple of Inner Wisdom for quite some time, but something in my heart wanted me to be on my own and experiment independently.
Mm,
So then I was on my own, and in the meanwhile, as I told you, I lost my dad, which was a very,
mm,
very big blow because he was my best friend, and
mm.
with him around, everything was all right.
Correct.
So I didn't know what to do next, and I was nervous. So one day, while scrolling Facebook, I saw this ad saying there's this woman called Pooja Puneet, and something with what she was saying really resonated with me.
Mm,
And before I knew it, Rahul, I had done all her courses one by one, one by one. And
mm,
also, I was doing PhD at that time. I decided to do PhD
mm.
because it would help me be placed at a better college.
Right.
So, again, this PhD story is very interesting. I earlier wanted to work on this Afro American activist called Maya Angelou. I'm sure
Mm,
you must have heard of her. So
mm,
when I met my PhD guide, she told me, Vishakha, this topic is redundant and a lot of people have already worked on her. And I
mm.
had spent 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years researching on her.
Wow.
So she said, could you choose another topic because this won't be as fruitful. Now, when ma'am said this to me, I felt, I don't know, this feeling came to me, even if I researched somebody's life thoroughly, and I wrote a thesis on her. Even if I did a comparative study on 2 3 books, I studied books after books and I did my thesis, how would it help me accept that degree?
Mm.
And believe me, I was not running after that degree. That doctor thing did not really allure me. I was
Mm.
just doing it because that something within me guided me to do it. And then I was lucky enough to get this guidance to work on the Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, wow.
Now the question came that Bhagavad Gita, a lot
Mm.
of people and deep researchers have worked on it. So I thought, how will I be able to find that literature gap? Will there even be a literature gap? Because people have been working on it for years together.
Correct.
And fortunately, I was able to find that gap. And my guide, she readily said yes. And then Krishna, or the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, they were my teacher for the next 2 3 years.
Wow.
So I really enjoyed doing this thesis, and
Mm.
every day was a learning experience with the exploring the verses, going
Mm.
into it deeply was very, very beautiful. And on the parallel side, I was teaching, and I loved what Pooja Puneet was teaching also, because she
Mm.
gave some practical tools in life with which you could elevate your vibrations. I was
Mm.
doing that also. In the midst of all this, something in me said that I could see that my life had shifted. It had really changed. I was no longer in that energies which were there in my
Mm.
life years back. So I felt like sharing it with the world. Something in me said that, Vishaka, if somebody had guided you this way years back, probably I would not have had to
Mm.
suffer the way I did. But anyways, it's all written, who
Mm.
has to suffer how much. So that is a different thing. But that guidance came, and I really wanted to help people in my own
Mm.
ways. I always had this calling within me that there's a tribe out there waiting for me. I don't know, I had this feeling
Mm.
for long years. And this is how I stepped into the world of coaching. And
Wow.
I wanted, now I had content. I had
Mm.
done Puja Puneet sessions. I had done the Bhagavad Gita. I was with Temple of Inner Wisdom for like a long time. So I had the content ready with me, but then
Mm.
I did not know how to position myself in this world. I'm not yet very good at marketing. I'm exploring, you know.
Mm.
So then Siddharth Rajshekhar happened to me, and I
Mm.
love the energy there. And it's still a learning experience there. And then
Mm.
Sagar, who's also, he teaches organic marketing. I found his energy is very, very pure. And
Mm.
I did not take time to join TBM, his community. I joined
Mm.
that community. And with all of this, Rahul, people, synchronicities, friends, they have, been coming to me to hold my hand and take me
Mm.
further. I mean, people through books, or suddenly through new people, they come to me, and they lead me to the paths which is meant for me. Imagine,
Mm.
I remember I mentioned that lecturer who told me about SSB.
Mm.
After that, after he told this information, gave this information to me, I did not see him again,
Right.
except like very recently before a few
Okay.
months. He just gave this information and disappeared.
Mm.
So life has been very, very rewarding. It has been challenging because working on yourself is very
Mm.
challenging.
True.
Breaking those loops which keeps you encircling again and again in the
Yeah.
same pattern, that is difficult. But I tell
Mm.
you, the rewards that you reap once you've broken that loop, I
Mm.
mean, our mind cannot fathom, what rewards we get.
True.
And at the moment, I am enjoying life. I'm
Mm.
loving to do what I'm doing. I'm placed at a degree college where I love to go every day. And this coaching journey, it is my passion.
Mm.
I love to connect with as many people as I can, and anything to do with the inner world and energies
Mm.
within, it really excites me, and I want to know
Mm.
more and more. And I have children who are 21, twins who are 21,
Mm.
and we are very good friends. And yes, everything is sorted. I have a
Mm.
beautiful family. So at the moment, I'm in a very good space.
Mm. Amazing. Love the way you've crafted the story for us to literally, as I said, my intention was for me and for people who are following along to really be able to travel with you, to be able to experience the journey like we were on your shoulder, and seeing how it all played out. Very beautifully framed. Um, so one question that kept coming up to me as I was listening to you, you mentioned, you talked about Puja Puneet and how
Hmm.
at different points in this
Hmm.
coaching journey also you've had experiences, and now you're sort of growing on the journey, right? Could you maybe briefly share with us, or if there was some turning point somewhere around, maybe around COVID, like just say year of COVID as in 2020, or maybe just after? Was there um, like one sort of incidental moment, or something that really you know
Yeah.
progress this journey compared to say where you are today?
So when you say turning points,
Hmm.
it really isn't COVID that it is centered
Okay.
around, but I identify three points of my life. The first turning point was when I met this spiritual mentor who told
Mm.
me that your outer world is a reflection of
Mm.
your inner world. It hit me, that
Mm.
sentence hit me, and it shifted something within me and
Mm.
made me go on this journey to explore myself.
Mm.
That was my first turning
Mm.
point. My second turning point was when I lost my father, because one after the other I was losing all those people, only those people whom
Mm.
I was the closest to. So it
Right.
made me question and think, why am I losing the people who mean
Mm.
everything to me?
Mm.
And it was, I think, because universe wanted to make me independent and not
Mm.
rely on anybody else. That is why these things happened.
Mm.
And my third turning point was, when this question popped up in my mind that we say that I am the creator, right? I'm the creator of my life, you are the creator of your life. So
Mm.
if I, the creator, could craft so many challenges for myself up until now, I,
Mm.
the creator, can also craft abundance for myself in terms of money, space, love,
Mm.
and and this idea, this notion did not let me sleep for nights together. And today this is my mission, Rahul. So
Mm.
this is the focal point around which everything rotates.
Mm.
I am already experiencing abundance, and I just know that if I continue working the way I'm working, it
Mm.
will only show me better stuff and deeper stuff.
Right. Mm. Wow. Amazing. Love the answer. Like I said, the reason also why I asked about COVID specifically was a lot of people have, had that shift, whether it was in their own personal lives, could have been, could be health, could be profession. Um, so that was the reason why I asked you the question.
So one
Uh,
thing how COVID helped was it did open up this online world.
mm, mm,
So,
yeah,
sitting in the house,
yeah.
because, there was no physical college and all. So you got more
Mm,
time to yourself. You got more time to explore into that realm and world which you really wanted to explore.
mm,
And all these mentors came up to me online only. I never went and visited them physically. So I think
mm,
yes, the gift of COVID is these mentors who
mm.
my path.
Got it. So maybe we'll go slightly different tangent, if you want to call it that. Now that you've given us a sense of how your life was shaped all these years, and uh, you've reached this point today where you're able to blend things that you really truly believe in, and you can hear it in what you say and how you say it. It flows so beautifully. So
Thank you.
these questions are more to help people who also so COVID and post COVID, they were exposed to the online world. um, some of them had an awakening where they realized, okay, they're meant to do this work. Some of them were already doing it, and it kind of created that boost for them. And today people who are coaches and healers are on the journey, right? So not so much in terms of how you do what you do, but more in terms of the marketing side of things, the sides of coaching and healing that most often doesn't get talked about, right? So give us a sense of what's that journey been like for you. Let's say if you look at maybe the last 3-4 years, um, from the time that you've found these people and these mentors, and they've kind of shaped your thinking. What's that journey been like for you? And maybe if there's something that uh, you know that you're like, yeah, these moments have really helped me, and I'm sure when you share it, people will also be able to uh, you know resonate, and who knows, maybe even take a leaf out of your book.
Yeah, so you want me to talk about the marketing aspect of my journey?
Sure, sure.
Right. So it was around 2023, as I told you,
Mm,
that, this realization that I should also help others who
right.
are in need of these tools. I
Mm,
am a work in progress, but then I see that I'm in a position to help people who do not have this knowledge, which I have.
mm,
So as
mm,
I go on learning, I can always help the others, right?
correct. Mm,
So while, as I told you, I had this content, I did not know how to market myself. And
mm,
again, a very beautiful thing that this marketing journey also opened up for me is to go back to my subconscious and examine my relationship with money. So
mm,
there you see, you have so many blogs. We grew up in an atmosphere where adults were telling us that, money corrupts, money doesn't grow on
mm,
trees. So I was also able to shed these ideas
right.
as I was working. And then, yes, of course, I learned about the systems, like
Mm,
I launched my silver community on Tag Mango. So I
mm,
have 8 to 9 members and my silver members
mm,
who are going to be there with me lifelong. We meet
mm,
every week. So what happens is, you join something, and once that course is over, whether it is for 2 months or 6 months,
mm,
then you come back to the same energies again. So I
mm,
didn't want this to happen with my members,
mm,
and
mm,
this is why I launched my silver membership, where we have a inner circle call every week, and this will go on as long as I'm doing
mm,
this work. So that was one beautiful thing that came up. And I also, as I told you, I'm a big fan of learning all this also, and I'm still
mm,
learning. So I like to call people as my guests, as you have called me today. I like to
mm,
call guests in my inner circle calls and
mm,
do insta lives with them, which gives
mm,
keeps adding to the perspectives that I already have.
mm,
And gradually, slowly, I am connecting to my tribe. And yes, I have my one-to-one clients, and I'm also learning how to reach out to them organically without
mm,
doing those ads and everything. And it is happening at its own pace. It is beautiful,
mm,
and it is happening.
mm. Wow. Okay. Nice. So we'll go a slight detour again. Tell us, like, now, you talked about the membership, and that's a great segue as well, because especially now we understand that it's not just about creating products. Uh, a lot of the work that we do is also about building a community, right? And you talked about it earlier also, that you felt this calling to to create your tribe, or that your
Yes.
tribe was calling you, right? So give us your what happens typically in your tribe, in your inner circle call, and what are some of the things that you have learned by doing this? Because again, I know that there are a lot of people who are comfortable at this point, especially when they've just started. They're
Hmm.
comfortable at this point, maybe doing one-on-one, right?
Hmm.
But the idea of building a community is something that is
Hmm.
still a little um,
Hmm.
uncomfortable for them, right?
Hmm.
So share with us, like, how has that what has that journey been like for you?
Right. I told you that in between I was on my own,
Mm,
experimenting with life. So there were moments when I felt completely lost. and I wished that I had somebody to guide me, because
mm,
although it is exciting and adventurous to be on your own, there are moments when you're not able to handle things right.
mm,
So I did not want this to happen to my clients.
mm,
And this community, the silver membership was there. And what we do inside our community, Rahul, I have pre recorded sessions, and I
mm,
also give them one to ones, where
mm,
the first thing we talk about is taking 100% responsibility of yourself. I
mm,
really believe very strongly that until I choose to take 100% responsibility of myself, I will
mm,
never be able to break the patterns which bother me. You know, it
mm,
is very easy to say, because of this person or event or situation or
mm,
experience, I'm like this. But it is your own choice, you know.
mm,
Nobody can force us to do anything. We are
mm,
intelligent human beings, but we fool ourselves into believing that it is because of somebody else that we are doing what we are doing. I think it's a very smart way of rationalizing and defending our own actions, right? So the
mm,
first thing we do is to take 100% responsibility of ourselves. And I share simple tools with them. You know, this
mm,
conversation might seem as a very intellectual conversation, but I tell you, the tools are very, very simple. And when you actually
mm,
practice them, like doing mirror exercise, like
mm,
expressing gratitude as soon as you get up in the morning, knowing about your energies, your physical, emotional, spiritual, and emotional energies, and how to elevate your energies, these are very basic things.
mm,
So we take 100% responsibility of ourselves. And something which is very close to my heart is the passion test that we do in our silver membership. So
mm,
when you do, you know, these days, I feel that the world rewards masculine energies more than feminine energies.
mm,
We have forgotten how to be, and we are always chasing and running after things, not knowing what we are really running after, right? So that to bring those moments of joy back in our lives,
mm,
it is something very simple. It is as simple as calling someone you love and
mm,
just saying ki thank you for being there, or
mm,
just expressing yourself to your child, to your partner, to your parent, or just, you know, when I want to make myself happy and joyful, I just make myself a glass of cold coffee and it shifts my energies.
mm,
So it could be as simple as that, and but
mm,
we have forgotten to do this. So this passion test, it makes it tells you how you can connect with your passion and purpose, and how you can actually bring it in your life. It's a very,
mm,
very interesting exercise. It's a scientific process which was created by Janet Atwood. And once you take this passion test, then you can do it on your own, any number of times you want to in
mm,
your life, right? So this
mm,
passion test is there. Then we talk about how resistances, our own
mm,
demons, fool us, and what are they, we talk about them. And then we get into goal setting. So one more thing which really kind of baffles me is,
mm,
as human beings we try to understand everything and everyone, but that one person who is longing and waiting for your presence, for your ear, that person is royally ignored. And that
mm,
person is you yourself,
mhm,
right? So, and you know, today if I have to go for a small trip tomorrow, I will do all my planning and everything. But for this journey of life, you know, when you ask
mm,
people, and before a few years, I also did not have goals for myself,
mm,
which is, you know, I feel now that I know and I am in this world, it feels a bit crazy to me not to set goals and not to have a direction for yourself. So then we do our goal setting, long term and short term goal setting.
mm.
And then I teach them how you can manifest through affirmations and visualizations.
Right.
So this is the foundation framework.
Mm,
And then keep adding more
mm,
guests. As I keep learning, I, like, you know, share that knowledge with my
mm,
community also. And one very, very important thing I learned
mhm,
while being in this community is that accountability which is
mm,
there, you know, in the community, that is something which pushes you to achieve whatever you want
mm,
to achieve. I'll give you a very simple example. For the longest time, I wanted to start a 5 a.m.,
mm,
5:30 a.m. morning club, but life was happening and my mind was, you know, telling me, no, no, this is not the right time, do it sometime else. Then Sagar, one of my organic coaches, he says it very beautifully. Take massive imperfect actions. So
Mm,
that is something which stayed with me, and I thought, let me try with a 5-day trial round and see how it goes.
mm,
So when I knew that people would be waiting for me in the morning, and when they knew that they were accountable to a group in the morning, I started getting up in the morning, which
mm,
changed my energies for the whole day. And I
mm,
also realized that as professionals, as homemakers, as parents, we have that crunch of time, right? So I designed something, Rahul, which is only 35 minutes long in the morning.
mm,
But those 35 minutes helps us to shift the energies which we all
mm,
felt in the last few days.
mm,
So, being in the community system, I felt that accountability and seeing that you are not the only one going through the problem that you're going. When you do not share it with somebody, the your mind likes loves to make it larger than life, your problems, right?
mm, mm,
But in the community you see that people have more problems than you have. So then you think,
mm,
why am I being sulking about this thing? Why am
mm.
I fussing over this? So I think this also pushes you to move ahead,
Nice.
and community support is always beautiful.
Mm, amazing. So while we're at this point, you're talking about what you're doing in the community, and you talked about a silver community. So um, have you already, like, so for people who are watching this, of course, depending on when they're watching this, your links are available, in the comment section below, so they'll be able to reach out to you and get to know more about what you're doing. But having said that, do you have like a deeper engagement as well? So like typically, in communities you have like levels, or they go by different names, but it's like, say, a base level and advanced level and super advanced level sort of a thing. Have you
Yeah.
already created that, or where are you on that journey so far?
So for now it is the silver community,
Got it.
and I am in process of creating the golden diamond.
Nice. Beautiful. Nice.
So diamond
So
will mean more accountability, and I'm
right.
creating something. I'm very excited to be creating something called the 3-month breakthrough challenge,
Mm,
where I'll be giving
nice.
them one-to-one sessions also, and
Mm,
hand-holding them and being accountable for what they are doing.
mm,
And I'm sure that 3 months, 90 days, if we are focused on where we want to go and take
mm,
those actions,
mm,
things will happen for us.
mm,
So all
mm.
of this is in making, and I
Nice.
really hope that I'm able to help people with whatever I'm creating.
Mm, amazing. So now we'll slowly start to shift gears, and let's focus on one. I know you've talked about it, in your journey. But this is that segment that we call the journey of mentors. So maybe in the context of people that you already talked about, if there was one particular story that stood out at each point, where when, like they say, you were ready, they showed up. And I love the way you said that, when the student is ready, the master appears. That's one part, right? I'm like
Hmm.
loosely paraphrasing. But when the student is, I forget the frame the way you said it, but it's like when you're really ready,
When the
then the
student
master
is
disappears.
fully ready or completely
Fully
ready,
ready, right?
the master
Exactly.
disappears.
Exactly. So maybe, and since you have such powerful stories, maybe if you could share, like, who amongst these, like when they showed up, and if there was a particular moment, when you notice that, okay, this person is really connecting with you. And this segment, of course, is designed also as a way to, one is, of course, you get to express your gratitude
Hmm.
for uh,
Hmm.
your mentors on
Yes.
a public platform. But also, for people who are watching this, sometimes just hearing you talk about these mentors, um,
Hmm.
a lot of times it can help them on their journey. Maybe they're also considering um, these people, and so when they hear your story, it can in many ways validate their uh, decision making. And who knows, maybe even if it's a quarter step ahead, it's a quarter step ahead. And especially, I
Yes.
mean, we've all been there when we get stuck. It's not
Yes.
the nicest feeling, but to get these insights and little nudges saying, what, okay, maybe this
Hmm.
one step is going to make a difference.
Yes.
So
Yes, so before I begin to
Mm,
actually name the mentors, I want to share something which I very strongly feel about again.
mm,
Your mentors are only instrumental in
mm,
bringing you the knowledge which you are meant to receive.
mm,
More than the mentors, it is your intention which
mm.
manifests them. This is what I
Right.
learned in my journey. When you
Mm,
are ready, when you have that deep desire to shift,
mm,
to transform, when you say to
mm,
yourself and to the universe, I am done with this. I do not
mm,
want this anymore in my life, and I will do whatever it takes for me to do to experience that shift, then those mentors, all those mentors will come in your life. So,
mm,
your energies, if you observe and examine your energies, I think they are your biggest teachers. And
mm,
through these mentors, Rahul, where are they leading us to? They are only leading us to that powerhouse which is yet unexplored, which is
mm.
within you only, right?
Right.
So
True.
those inner whispers, those
Mm,
faint calls, they are screaming for your attention, and they
mm,
have told you so many times to listen to them that now they are standing quietly, I feel, and waiting for you to come back to them. So your biggest
mm,
teacher is inside you. Having said
mm,
this, I truly understand that it doesn't start this way. You have to
mm,
have mentors who guide you, who start this journey for you. And as I already said, I am
mm,
very, very grateful to have my spiritual mentor, Master Minod, the founder of Temple of
mm,
Inner Wisdom, who created that shift within me. It was because of his
mm,
patience, because of his love, that I was able to, go deeper in this journey. However uncomfortable it was, it wasn't comfortable for me, but because of his presence I was able to just keep digging within and just keep
mm,
shedding those layers which were not meant for me. So he has
mm,
been instrumental. And then again, my father, Rahul. So when I lost my father,
mm,
I could feel my dad's presence even, when he was not there. And as I
mm,
already shared, all those miracles happened in my life. My
mm,
passing the NET exam, my getting this
mm,
job, I know it is my father's doing. I just know it
mm,
because the way it happened, it is not ordinary. So I could feel my dad's presence. There have been moments when I was on my own and I was very, very low. So I have felt
mm,
his presence. But a time came when my mind, I've been a very independent person within. So there was
mm,
a time when my mind, I don't know whether it was right or wrong, but my mind told me that each time you are low, it is not right to call your father because this is not what would have wanted if he would have been physically there also.
mm,
So it was like, can't you do it on your own? Why do you
mm,
need to, call him each time? So that was the time I remembered him very fondly, but I did
mm.
not remember him at the time of my problems only. So my
Right.
father has been my guide, my mentor, silent mentor. The world did
Mm,
not know, but I knew that, he was behind me, guiding me, being there for me
mm.
and supporting me.
Nice.
And then all the other teachers who I told you, and there were friends also, Rahul, who kept showing up, who kept coming and
Mm,
helping me. Like when I joined Sagar's TBM, there's this
mm,
new friend. Her name is Ruchi. She is a medium, psychic medium, and a healer. So through her also, I get to learn so many new things. And
mm,
when I actually sit to count now, I cannot count the number of people on fingers who have really helped me. It is
mm,
that beautiful. So today I would like to take this moment to be grateful to all the people, to all the mentors who helped me to shape, who
mm,
helped me to become who I am today.
mm,
Without their guidance and support, it wouldn't have been possible.
mm,
So, and also my twins who are
mm,
21 today, but I don't know what they had in them right from their childhood. They have supported me in ways which children their age cannot generally do.
mm,
So they have been with me also and have been supported and they have guided me too. So all of them, my parents, my mom, my family, I am very, very grateful to all of them.
Right. Beautiful. Amazing. So maybe as we slowly start to land
Yes,
this
and
plane.
one more thing I forgot
Mm-hmm.
to mention,
Mm-hmm.
so which I think is really very important to be mentioned
Mm-hmm.
in this journey. Rahul,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very thankful to my disguised angels, those people
Mm.
who gave me those pokes and triggers. Because if it were not for them, if it wasn't for them, I would have never, started this journey in the first place.
Right.
So
Mm.
although in this physical life they appear as, people who are not well wishers, if you look at
Mm.
them at a soul level, they are the reason who make you who you are, right? So I'm
Mm.
also
True.
grateful to my disguised angels.
Mm. Beautiful. Love that. And as I said, this pod is designed to show you, and as I'm sure for those of you who've reached this point, that listening to Vishakha's story, that angels and disguised angels exist, and that they're always there to eventually lead us forward. So I'm sure this is an opportunity for you to connect with Vishakha, and go along with her on the journey, especially if you're looking to tap into manifestation and affirmations, and those beautiful things that exist out there. But when you have a teacher who's with you, who's already walked the path, that makes all the difference, right? So as I said before, the links have been shared so people can follow along and get to know what amazing things that you're creating in the future. So, thank you for taking the time and sharing your story, and inspiring all of us. I definitely am taking away a lot of powerful notes. I love the one where you talked about the student, right, being
Hmm.
being ready for both phases. In my own story, I've also believed that just as much as mentors enter, they also at the right time release themselves of the role that they were meant to play when they came in, making room for new adventures and new mentors in the future as well. Right? So, wish you all the best, and thank you so much for sharing these stories. But one last question before we go, uh, which is, is there a question that you wish that I had asked you, which I haven't yet?
Not really. You've asked me beautiful questions, and thank you for having me here today, Rahul.
My
And
pleasure.
as we, before we started the session, my only intention today was to speak my heart out,
Mm,
for I really felt that if my voice, through our discussion, through
mm,
your platform, could help anyone out there, in the slightest possible way, may that happen. So that was my intention. So I
mm.
really spoke my heart out today. I don't know if you felt
Love.
it or not, but I have not been a very open person. But today I did not hold anything back.
Mm,
I just
mm,
spoke what came to me. And my
mm,
only reason was to just tell people that
mm,
your intention and your intent is that one thing which will change everything for you if
mm.
you want that shift in your life. And
Correct.
as you heard my story, from being a very passive and maybe timid also homemaker, to fortunately being where I am today in a
Mm,
position to help others, if I can do it, you surely
mm,
can. There is no ways to, say that you cannot do. All you
mm,
need is a strong intention, and then to follow your inner guidance, however uncomfortable it gets. And
mm.
you will break the loop.
Right. Beautiful. Amazing. So, for those of you who've reached this point, of course, you know that there's something very magical, very deeply connected to you that's brought you here, and, reach out definitely and find out more about the programs, not only now, but at whatever point you happen to be watching this. And, thank you once again, Vishakha, for spending the time, sharing your story, and inspiring us, and wish you the very best in on your journey and the many chapters ahead. So thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much. And I
making
would
the time.
also love to congratulate you for the
Thank you.
amazing work that you're doing, Rahul,
Thank you.
bringing guests here, like so many guests week after week,
Mm,
making us share our journeys. It opens things within people as within listeners, just as you're listening to others,
mm,
right? And I would love to know more deeply about the work that you are doing also.
sure.
I'm very fascinated with we had the conversation the
Mm,
other day also, and I think you're doing great work.
thank you.
So thank you for this, a heartfelt
Thank you.
thank you for
Thank
this.
you. Thank you very much. And one final thing, of course, for those of you who've watched, we keep coming back with more stories of, inspiration, magic, and so much more. So we will, of course, be back with more stories in coming days. And having said all of that, of course, as always, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, we will be back with more. So, just if you can stick around for a few minutes, Vishakha, while I just pause our live feed.
Thank you, Rahul.